Bonjour, 1 million cups, Fargo. There you go. Even they're getting it. So, bonjour, everyone. My name is Alexandre Cusa. I'm honored and pleased to be your welcome host. Who is new in the room? Who is new? Who has never been here? All right, look at that. Today we're setting a record. It's pretty full. So, and who has been here for the past 5 times? 6 times? 7, 8, 9, 10. Amazing. So give yourself a round of applause as well. So I think I'm going to speak more on this side of the room today. For those that are new, if you want to know what is happening every Wednesday from 9 to 10 around some coffee or hot chocolate, it's basically a gathering where we get to visit and connect and consult with local, regional, and national entrepreneurs. Now, what is an entrepreneur? Good question. Entrepreneurs are people trying to solve, maybe you know? Do you know what is an entrepreneur?
An entrepreneur is when somebody creates their own business and they're doing things to help the community.
How about that? Look at the future entrepreneurs, future leaders of our community. How smart are they? Give yourself a round of applause again. So as she said it eloquently, I'm not going to say anything, so just quote her. But yeah, that's one of the privileges we have here where we get to connect with entrepreneurs. One other thing, know that we're the most attended 1 million cups in the nation. And speaking of the nation, today is the North Dakota Amazing Day. So I think we're streamed live from, so obviously Fargo, but as well Jamestown, Dickinson, Grand Forks, Minot, Winnipeg. Oh no, that's not North Dakota. Anyhow, North Dakota Amazing Day. So all the other North Dakotan amazing cities, hey, from Fargo, bonjour, bonjour. Hopefully you translate. I don't know if they speak French on that side of North Dakota. Anyhow, so with that said, I'm going to pass it to my older brother from another North Dakotan mother, Greg.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here today. Today is Author Day. Today we have an opportunity to hear from two of the most prominent entrepreneurs in North Dakota that have recently read books. It is statewide 1 Million Cups Day. So we, with a partnership with Click Content Studios, are live streaming today with the Jamestown Press, Jamestown Sun, Dickinson Press, Grand Forks Herald, Fargo Forum, WDAY, and we're pumping in our live stream to Bismarck and Grand Forks where people are gathered today. So let's welcome all the folks from Bismarck and Grand Forks that are gathered to watch. Thank you. 1 Million Cups is the front door to North Dakota's entrepreneurial ecosystem. It's an opportunity for folks to hear announcements, opportunities to get plugged in, connected. It's an opportunity to hear from great entrepreneurs. And then we as a community, the 200 plus in the room today, the folks in Grand Forks, the folks in Bismarck, and the folks watching live stream around the world, tweet in your questions, and we're going to try to help these entrepreneurs share their ideas to positively impact more people. So today we have a few quick announcements to kick things off. First up, we have Anthony Molzon. You may have read about him in Fargo Inc. most recently. He's a founder. He's a past 1 Million Cup speaker. Let's welcome to the stage, Anthony.
Okay. So we've got something called the Intern Experience Program. This is for active interns in the Fargo-Moorhead area. The deadline to sign up here is the end of the month on National Autonomous Vehicle Day. And you can talk to Kelsey, or if you don't like humans, you can go to Eventbrite, but we're going to change your mind about that. So that's an 8-week facilitation program. It's so you can learn things like soft skills, things like, talking to humanoids, email etiquette, who knew, and getting to know one another, the interns with each other, building your network. Of course, it's getting you to plug into the community, folks like Greg, Emerging Prairie, and all of the great facilities that are available for you as you grow your business eventually, right? And it's about engaging throughout the summer, and the goal is to optimize your intern experience. So if you are an intern or you have an intern on staff or are looking for a few, there's a couple here available now. Bring them on. It's an 8-week program. It's going to be great. So we'll see you there.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. We want to do a quick announcement from our friends in Grand Forks. They've got a Main Street initiative, contest. So if you have any ideas on improving downtown Grand Forks' Main Street efforts, check it out. The folks at Evolve Grand Forks and the 701 co-working space are busting their butts, creating new opportunities in the Main Street initiative in Grand Forks. There's a lot of development, there's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of fried pickles. Anybody had the fried pickles at Toasted Frog? They're really good. So let's give it up for Toasted Frogs Fried Pickles. They should be the sponsor. Next up, for another opportunity to plug in, let's welcome to the stage Brady Roll. Let's welcome Brady.
Hello, my name is Brady Rail, and I represent Business and Beer. It's a networking event that my partner Cal and I established because I say that a lot. We wanted to be able to continue our networking conversations from our networking groups in the morning. And so this is a way where he and I could get together to pass leads back and forth and to network. And if he and I showed up, then we won. And if other people showed up, then it was a meeting. So it's every week, Thursdays at the Front Street Tap Room from 4 to 5:30 or so, or whenever it happens to wind down. So I want to, again, thank the Front Street Tap Room for this, and Adam Weidman for doing the Business and Beer logo for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brady. Another announcement from our friends in Bismarck. The folks in Bismarck have Code Connect. It's an opportunity for technology-based folks to get together, talk about coding, software development skills. It's happening. If you get a chance in Bismarck, how many of you have been to Bismarck recently? The energy there is exciting. We were there yesterday. The energy is exciting. Downtown is active. The folks at CoSchedule are leading Code Connect. So check out their local magazines, find out those opportunities. But for those in Bismarck, thanks so much for your leadership. All right, last announcement comes to us from Emerging Prairie. Next week is Drone Focus Con. So I think we're going to go to the video. All right, so we have Drone Focus next Wednesday. It's coming up. We've got over 500 folks coming. We wanted to let you know that if you're interested in this industry, Bank of North Dakota, in partnership with the North Dakota State University Business School, as well as the Greater Fargo-Moorhead EDC, are going to have a community session. So next Wednesday, there will be no 1 million cups, but we'd love for all of you to join us downtown at the Civic Center at 4 p.m., where Executive Chairman Matt Rose of Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad will be speaking. When Matt was the CEO of BNSF, it sold to Berkshire Hathaway for, I believe, $27 billion. And he'll be there. He's now the executive chairman of BNSF. There's rumors that he will take over Warren Buffett's role at Berkshire Hathaway. So if you're interested in attending that, that's 4 o'clock. We prefer if you signed up on Eventbrite. It's a huge deal for the nation. This conference is leading the efforts with entrepreneurs in the space like Anthony, who's here today, Dave from Field of View that you can read about in Fargo Inc. It's going to be a special Wednesday. So our team is taking next Wednesday off from 1 Million Cups so that we can be there. All right, so with that, one of the things that we love to do at 1 Million Cups is that we believe entrepreneurs drive our economy, but artists drive our culture. So for the second year in a row, we are pleased to welcome back the most talented group of third graders we could find at Clara Barton. They were willing to skip school, walk here on their own, hide their ears on the beer announcement, and they are here today. Let's welcome to the stage the third grade class at Clara Barton singing academic songs. We want to thank teacher Cheryl Bominger. Hey, buddy, here you go.
Good morning. We are excited to join 1 Million Cups of Fargo today. We are third graders from Clara Barton Elementary, a very proud part of Fargo Public Schools.
We are here to entertain you and to display that not all educational strategies have to be a traditional way of learning, and to show you how academic songs can promote background, knowledge, improve recall, and retention.
Our academic songs in the forms of jingles like or short songs like this one that encourages us to learn about countries around the world. For example, the countries of Central America.
And listen for the mnemonic. Academic songs cover all content areas such as literacy, science, social studies, and math.
And then we have ballads that tell a story. They are high-interest topics that grab the attention of readers, and they get hooked in the world of project-based learning.
This ballad teaches us about the largest U.S. oil spill, the Gulf oil spill.
It not only teaches us about the oil spill, but we learn about empathy. Students are now encouraged to be problem solvers of tomorrow, and they know how it was dealt with and how to deal with oil spills of the future.
We sing about scientific happenings of the past. For example, Mount Vesuvius blew over 2,000 years ago. Scientists of the future and the past are trying to help citizens who live by these giants.
Our thoughts are that those in Hawaii, as they too rely on scientists and their wisdom to keep citizens safe.
We are going to leave you with an agricultural song. Agriculture is a vital economic force in North Dakota. About 90% of the state's land is used for agriculture, totaling about 40 million acres devoted to farming and ranching.
This song teaches us about 3 kinds of corn, including our favorite.
Let me tell you about popcorn. It's the oldest of 3. There's field and sweet and popcorn. Very, 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 very interesting. Let me tell you about popcorn. It's the oldest of 3. There's field and sweet and popcorn. Very, 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 very interesting. Discovered thousands of
us.
Hey, thank you guys so much. Hey, thank you for skipping school. We appreciate you skipping school today. We are hopeful. We are looking for an ice cream sponsor. So if anybody wants to buy all these kids ice cream, they'd like to go to the ice cream shop on their way back to school. So if you guys want some ice cream for breakfast? All right, let's get them some ice cream. I'm sure the afternoon teachers. Oh my God. Okay. Gosh, you guys are going to have so much fun. So you're in for a treat, Clara, Barton, folks. We today have two of the most prominent entrepreneurs in North Dakota's history. I would argue that they are they're thought leaders in their industry. They're from all over the state. So today our first presenter is a Beulah miner. His name's Garrett Moon. He and his co-founder Justin Walsh started Today Made, which became CoSchedule. He just launched his first book, 10 Times Marketing. He's a hero to many of us. Let's join me in giving Garrett Moon a big welcome to the stage. Garrett Moon of CoSchedule.
It's way better than I know mine, so great job. Well, I'm excited to be here today and talk about something, and I'm sure everybody's happy that I'm going to be talking about something other than CoSchedule, and sharing a bit about the 10X marketing formula, which just launched here at the end of March. And this was a project that myself and my team had been talking about for quite a while. It's something that one of our marketing leads, Nathan, and I had brainstormed and really thought about for a long time, and just how to tell this story about how CoSchedule grew, about how we really felt like we pioneered and did some pretty new things in marketing, and really wanted to share that with the world. A bit of background just very quickly on CoSchedule and our team, there we go. So this is our team in our downtown office in Fargo. So once a year we all get together and we shoot a thank you video for our customers. We don't actually wear costumes like that every single day. But once a year we get together and we shoot a thank you video for our customers, and it's a kind of a fun tradition that we do. But this team, we build a marketing calendar, marketing software for teams that are looking to get organized. Essentially, it's productivity software for marketing teams and businesses that are doing their own marketing. And so we have 65 North Dakotans on our team, 40 or so of them are in our Fargo office, then we have 20 so in our Bismarck office that make that work, and we have had a great time selling marketing calendars and software and doing marketing ourselves, building our business using the marketing tools that we build or that we make, and the tactics that we promote. But just like every other business out there, when CoSchedule first started, when we first launched, we had what everybody has. We had nothing. We had 0 customers. We had 0 visitors to our website. We had 0 email subscribers. We didn't have a platform. We didn't have an audience, and we had to look for a way in order to grow that and do it very, very quickly. One thing I talk about in the book is that when you're a startup, when you're a business, it's sort of a results or die culture, right? Like either you need to figure out how to get customers, you need to figure out how to get people interested in your business, or you're going to go out of business. And so everything's on the line. And one of the ways that we approach that at CoSchedule, and something that we talk about in a lot of our teams, is just learning to think about the projects that we take on in marketing as either 10% type projects or 10x projects. And 10% projects and 10% ideas are the types of projects where they're good things to do. They are certainly helping you move in the right direction. They're smart, or all of those things. They're on strategy. But the reality is that they're only going to help grow your business by 10%, right? They're only going to make an incremental improvement on the results that you're getting as a business. So if you have 100 customers, they might only help you add 10 customers or so. But in marketing and in business, in order to really achieve big results, you have to think about 10x opportunities. You have to think about the opportunities that are going to allow you to multiply your results by 10 times in order to grow, and in order to grow quickly enough to make your startup or your business profitable. So we talk about, I go through a few different steps and break down growth into a few different phases. We start with just learning how, as a startup and as a marketer, to build traffic and to get people coming to your website, to get people seeing what you're doing on a daily basis. If you don't have the ability to bring people in, you don't have anything to build from. So we got to start there. And then we learn how to turn your visitors to your site into an audience, an engaged audience using your email list. And then eventually, then we're going to talk about how to use that email list to build your customer base and really make a difference on the bottom line. So the book covers a bunch of these different strategy and specific tactics that we used, helps the readers find ways to find those 10x opportunities, how to avoid the pitfalls of the 10%, get everybody on the team rowing in the right direction. The CoSchedule, now we launched late 2013, really got rolling in 2014. Coming from zero at that point to where we are now, 1.4 million page views, 1.5 million page views every single month, 300,000+ email subscribers on our list, so a really large audience, and 10,000+ active paid calendars throughout the world. So, these are the tactics and things that we know work. We took all the stuff that didn't work and we left it out of the book. We put some of the stuff that we liked and that we thought worked really well, and we put in the book so you guys can learn from our mistakes and don't have to worry about it. Just a few things. I would talk a little about why does a business like CoSchedule, and why do we write the book, and why now? From a business standpoint, there was a lot of reasons in our industry where we felt like this was the right time. We felt like businesses were really looking for results in their marketing. They were doing marketing, they were doing social, but they weren't getting the results. So it was time to help them. And from our standpoint, it's about giving ourselves a bigger platform and really expanding our reach. As a business, when you go, you want PR appearances, you want opportunities to come onto this stage, and you want to talk about your business. But it's hard to get those opportunities because when you're talking about your business, it's very promotional. The book and really releasing some new thinking into the marketing ecosystem gives us a new platform and allows us to mix with influencers. So these are just some tweets by some major influencers and stuff within our industry that were willing to share the book, and we had access to them because of the book. It's been a great success. We've exceeded our expected sales numbers so far. We kind of see the book as a 2-year project, and we're ahead of schedule in terms of where we want it to be. Number of times there on the Amazon bestseller list as well. Just some of the reach of the book, 20-some different influencers were involved in the book, either through interviews or through giving testimonials. Some of you guys may be familiar with Jay Baer. He spoke in Fargo a few times at the Fargo Connect conferences. He wrote the foreword of the book, so really great opportunities with that. Lots of different podcast appearances. I'm still doing 2 or 3 a week. So as a business, using the book as a catalyst for building that earned PR and that earned media has been really, really useful. And as a business owner, if you can write a few hundred pages, I might recommend it. So that is the 10X marketing formula. It's available in the Fargo lobby, Bismarck lobby. I'll answer all the questions you want about marketing and writing, and red book covers are the theme of the day. So thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you, Garrett.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Garrett, we've got a lot of tweets coming in from your high school English teacher in Beulah, so we'll look forward to those in a few minutes. So our second presenter is originally from Minot, North Dakota. He's based in Jamestown. He was on Point of View last night with Chris Berg. He'll be on the cover of Fargo Inc. next month. He's a dynamic founder who always says way more than he should. There's no PR team around him, which I love. Let's join me in giving a big welcome to Scott Bent from his book, Principles to Fortune. Let's welcome Scott.
Hi, everybody. Hi, kids. So, thank you, Greg. You guys have really done some cool stuff here in Fargo. I love the entrepreneurial spirit. Before I get started, I got like 6 minutes, and as my friend Jeff, who's here, I'll probably mention him in that 6 minutes, but I tend to say way too much in too short of time, so kind of a faucet. But so before I get into that mode, it's my mother's birthday, and if you're in Bismarck, my mother is in the Bismarck office with her friend Debbie, and they got some cute guiding principle shirts on, and they're selling my books. So, hi, Mom, I'm on TV. Hello, Grand Forks, Jamestown Sun, and those other places. Okay, so Yeah, that's who I am. Close your eyes, kids. Okay, so I'm supposed to talk about the book. I wrote this book, and my goal was to be helpful. It was my goal, and I wrote or kind of tried to figure out the top 12 takeaways of the book. And if you don't, let me go back here. If you don't know, okay, so I'm the founder of realtruck.com, which means that I just got really lucky, and a lot of great people helped me take that business from my basement to over 100 million in sales. And then, of course, I'm a rookie author, founder of RHR Brew, which is Fuel for Entrepreneurs, which is coffee. So you have coffee like Game Changer Coffee and Rebel Coffee. And I kind of got a racing habit, so I started a website for racing that sells cool stuff for racers. And then a little e-commerce consulting. So anyway, I wrote this book. And the book is about work culture, but there's also a lot of stuff about entrepreneurial stuff. But ultimately, it doesn't matter where you come from. You don't have to be from Silicon Valley. You can be from Fargo. You can be from Beulah, North Dakota. But if you run your business with principles, it'll turn out a lot better than you think it will. The book has tons of actionable items to enhance and grow any business, and I'd like to take credit for that, but a lot of those actions came from the people of Real Truck when we were going through the process of incorporating principles. Talks about how to deliver more to customers, partners, and employees, because the best marketing you can have is if your customers are talking about you. If you create memorable experiences. For example, one of the ads I think Jeff wrote was that back in the day at Real Truck was that we sell bacon and truck accessories, and we're all out of bacon, which is how to include fun at work and keep it going, and some e-commerce concepts to winning your space. There was a chapter I took out of the book that was called The Doubtful Passenger, which is the things you have to overcome in your mind to move forward, kind of the people in your own mind that tell you can't do something. But I may kick that out at some point, but it didn't really fit into the concept of the book. Why running a business creates more with principles, creates more reward and responsibility. Culture develops with or without guidance. So if you think about any football fans here? Okay, so remember Bountygate, New Orleans Saints, where they were playing players to hurt other players, right? And that was like totally cool until it got out publicly, and then they were shamed. That's culture. This is culture. Every group, every batch of people, the bison got culture, right? And so it develops with or without guidance, and it without guidance, it tends to be competitive. It leans towards being competitive and cutthroat, and who likes that? Why companies fail at creating culture, and then of course how to create a winning culture, how to get principles into your business, which is really a kind of a series of questions, and then catching people practicing those principles, whatever you value. Obviously, with Real Truck, our principles were different maybe than a lot of, if we were building airplanes, you might want to have a value about accuracy and precision, I'm thinking, but versus some of the ones that we had at Real Truck, but the same thing applies. Why transparency matters, because it ultimately builds trust, and it builds loyalty, and it builds appreciation. Lack of transparency, of course, is distrust and slight neurosis. A culture of risk takers is the biggest driver of killing status quo. And lastly, culture of humility creates an environment of responsibility where you have people passing on credit and taking responsibility for things when they go sideways, and an environment of lots of people catching lots of people doing things right. Which, by the way, my friend Jeff, who was, when I owned Real Truck, was the president of the company. He's right there. Raise your hand, Jeff. Jeff helped Real Truck go from about 6 million to now, I think, over 150 million. But he's in the market for a job. So Kind of. Maybe, I don't know. So anyway, now there's going to be a Q&A, and so one of the things, I'm not a very good... Is that me? Is it my pocket? Hello? Okay. I thought maybe I was supposed to start breakdancing. Anyway, so one of the things is for the Q&A, I threw out some things there of like questions that I'm commonly asked, which is what might your number one question around e-commerce be, work culture, or entrepreneurship? And obviously another question I get a lot of what do you think about Real Truck today and how it's being ran? And of course, it's my best answer for that would be is if they get back to focusing on the culture, it will be a lot more rewarding than if they're overly focused on making a bunch of money for a few people. But what do I know? Anyway, the honor to be back. But anyway, thank you for your time, and please say happy birthday to my mother in Bismarck, and that's my last slide. You can get the book kind of everywhere online, and there's also a store in Grand Forks and a few coffee shops. You can get it in person along with in the lobbies at all of the Million Cups locations. So thank you for your time. Oh, I'm supposed to stay up here? Over here.
All right. Okay, so we're going to get these moved up just so we can be closer. There you go. But Scott, you can actually, do you want to sit here, Scott? You can. It's all right.
No.
I've never sat over there. We
I'll
can try
follow
it.
your rules, Greg.
Okay, good. Thanks. Probably the first time. Okay, so how this is going to work is we've got a couple mic runners. So we've got Malachi and Mustafa who are here. You can grab their questions. You can tweet in your questions with the hashtag 1MCND, 1MCFAR, 1MC Grand Forks. I'm going to kick things off with a question. And just a first observation, Scott, like great way to sell books. Have your mom sell books on her birthday. Like that's great. Good technique. I hope that's in the book. But first thing is that I'm curious about is when we think about entrepreneurial ecosystems around the country, we think about this idea of give first. So I think of Colin in Grand Forks, who's just giving to his entrepreneurs. I think of Janelle in Bismarck, who's just giving and supporting. But I see you guys as two prominent entrepreneurs, both in the region and across the country. And I know you support other entrepreneurs. I run into you in the coffee shops, and you're helping people. I hear stories about, I just got off the phone with Garrett, and he helped me understand this. Why does a give first matter, and how does that relate to you spending the time to write a book and to share your knowledge in a time when I think my parents' generation probably grew up saying, protect your ideas, protect your secrets, don't tell anyone the formula. And here it is for like $14.99, everything that it took to build two companies that are both worth over $100 million. Help us understand the give first mentality.
I think for me, when I was back in college, when Jeff and I were in college, we were roommates too, and we kind of always wanted to be useful, or I did, and certainly he did too. And then I got busy working, and kind of lost that, and then refound it where I just wanted to be useful and helpful to people, and so certainly it seems to me that if you help people as you go, things just seem to work out. I can't, quantify it on a algorithm or anything like that, but that's just, it seems like if you can help make it a little bit easier for the next person or the next company, it's a win.
Yeah, I think one thing, in terms of the business, like some of the business case, like how do you describe how being helpful, how about giving things away to your boss, right? Like at CoSchedule, like the whole book, the whole thing is built on, we started blogging and sharing how we were building CoSchedule, how we were going to do our marketing, what our strategies were, what we thought worked, what didn't work, and we actually started sharing that on the web before we actually wrote code for the software. And what we learned was just that when you do that, people build a lot of equity and trust in your brand and what you're doing very, very quickly, and they rely on you as a thought leader and an industry leader. So you go from like just a customer to someone who trusts what you say, who trusts what you do, and that's even better than a customer, right? They're going to be more loyal, they're going to tell their friends, and there's just a lot of return that they give you. Plus, there's actually a lot that happens for yourself when you give things away, like just even in that coffee shop and you're having that conversation, like your own thinking and your own kind of reminiscing on some of the lessons you've learned just kind of helps solidify them for you going forward. I think it makes you a better startup founder. I think it makes you a better marketer, or whatever the question is, by just talking it through and thinking it through very intentionally like that.
Excellent. Let's go to the crowd. So if there's anybody in the room here today, you could raise your hand or just tweet in with the hashtag 1MCFAR. And we give bonus points to any third grader that asks a question. So you get double the bonus points if you're a third grader and you ask a question, okay? For the rest of the day, we'll get you all A's, okay? So who's got a question? Let's ask a question. Looks like we got one right here. Anthony.
Hey, awesome presentation, guys. So on the topic of books, what book are you currently listening to or reading right now? And what book would you suggest for others to read? Obviously, not these two books because obvious reasons. And then also a comment. My co-founder happens to be the son-in-law of someone that worked at your company, Scott, for a quick 17 years. And we're drawing a lot of inspiration on the things that she learned along the way. So I want to say thank you.
Well, I just finished Principles to Fortune. It was really good.
Yep. And that was a promoted post. Scott paid him $8 to say that. So there we go.
But actually, one that I thought was really good, and I always think it's science a good book when you start buying it for other people in the office and you start handing it out. There's a book called Powerful by Patty McCord. She was head of HR or happiness or something at Netflix. But just really talking about how to create a team culture that's really empowering, gives everyone in the team ownership, and really about how when you're creating things and taking a lot of ownership in what you're creating, like that's really where true culture and true power come from in a business, not just in some of the results or anything like that. Like the people really enjoy and invest in what they're doing, what they're building.
With me, I have a couple of different books going. I'm in the middle of Garrett's book, 10X Marketing.
It's too long. It takes a long time.
Yeah, there's a lot of pages.
And then also Made to Stick. I'm kind of a spaz like that. So
Define spaz.
yeah. So I'm kind of in two books right now, Made to Stick, and then
All right, let's go to Twitter. This comes from Megan McDougall. You both are North Dakota natives. You chose to stay in North Dakota to build your businesses here. Garrett, I know you've written about this for Forbes. Scott, you talk about this as building headquarters in Jamestown. Help us understand, why did you choose to build your companies in North Dakota when both of your companies could be anywhere in the world?
Well, I just mean, me and Justin, my co-founder, we lived here, right? So, and so that's where we were. And I think, the idea of like picking up and moving just to start something doesn't make a lot of sense. You just start it where you are and you go from there. And we always kind of like talked about, like, if it doesn't work, yeah, we could move the company and all these things. And there's tons of people, and every expert out there in entrepreneurship told us that you can't do this from North Dakota. It's not going to work. You're never going to hire enough talent. And we've proven them all wrong so far. I mean, we have 60 plus people in North Dakota that kick butt at what they do. And it's really been our advantage. So, you just got to be willing to kind of turn your ears off to certain naysayers and believe in your state more than they do.
Scott?
yeah, that'd be my answer. I mean, really great people, and I think in our case, we had to expand to Fargo for some of the tech and the marketing aspect to grow the business, but in today's world, you can pretty much do anything from anywhere, and why not do it where you're from,
All right, let's go to the crowd here in Fargo.
Hi, so now that you've finished this book, both of you, is there anything that you maybe touched on in it or that you didn't include just to keep the book manageable that you're really looking at for that next book? What is that next step in this after you finish the first one that you really feel like is the next lesson that you want to teach?
I had about 100,000 words, and so the book's about 60,000 words, and some of the things didn't fit, which is I'm used to that. This and I think some more. I thought about more about e-commerce. I put a little chapter in on e-commerce concepts because obviously a lot of people ask me about that, and it's kind of weird. The book's on culture and that kind of thing, but sometimes people have said, "Well, I wasn't going to get it because I thought it'd be all about e-commerce, but I got it and I couldn't put it down." And then just that aspect of the doubtful passenger, which is that thing in your head that says you can't do something, and sometimes people out in the world that kind of just says that it's not going to work, and who do you think you are, and you're crazy for, all of the things you have to kind of overcome and learn to accept and grow about yourself. So we'll see if the current book has any stick. So.
Garrett?
Yeah, I think for me, I kept this one pretty focused on marketing, just based on kind of what we were really trying to tell and really help marketers, help businesses that are doing marketing. So I think there's a lot of stuff that I'd love to cover that has to do with more just startups in general and business and just like some of the things you're going to have to deal with in the scrappy days of the early days and how to grow from a startup and a business mentality. But for now, I'm all out of words for a little while at least.
Man, you got a company to build.
That's right.
All right, let's go back. We got time for probably 2 more. Looks like we got one up here.
Hi guys, thanks very much for really entertaining and very awesome presentations this morning. You both had talked about building a business where you are. North Dakota doesn't have that many people. So what are the things that you look for and that you would, as you're building your businesses, but looking maybe across the landscape, what are the things that we need to either instill in our people as we're trying to keep them here, or to bring people in from elsewhere, because businesses like these are magnets to bring people to North Dakota. What are some ideas from you guys in the as you're building?
I've talked about this. This might get me in trouble, but so
just keep going. Open tab.
If you're
Just
a
keep
student
talking.
and you go to school and you, I was like about fell out of my chair a few years ago when I hired someone and they went to school and like in $70,000 in student loans, right? And I thought it's really hard to stay in North Dakota, which tends to pay a little less because we have lower economy, if you got that kind of student loan debt. And personally, obviously money's not free, but I think to keep talent in North Dakota, one ought to do something where, college is free if you stay here for 8 years or whatever. And where it becomes more affordable to stay, because if you have $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 in student loan debt, you got to kind of hit the cities to be, I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but it's like $1,500 a month payment. Well, you're not necessarily going to get an $80,000 job fresh out of college in North Dakota. So anyway, that would be one thing. And I think like what Greg and the community of Fargo is doing is gathering up, because like Greg's asked me, why can't North Dakota be known for e-commerce? Why can't, it's known for obviously ag and tech because of Great Plains and aviation, and but I think if it's not by happen chance that vehicles came out of Detroit, tech came out of Silicon Valley, because you got all these people that get together and talk and incrementally make each other's ideas better. The fact that, most people, maybe this is going many years back, but most people don't know that Henry Ford and Thomas Edison were friends. And that happened to exponentially make their lives better. So the more we can do things like this and gather up where information can be exchanged, when you bring people together, just like Jake at Married Mobile over there, which is, every time I talk with him, I learn something.
You're the only person I've ever heard say that, so that's amazing.
But I think, gathering up. Sorry.
All right, Garrett, you've recruited a lot of talent. How many of you have been recruited by Garrett Moon or somebody at CoSchedule to move to this area? Awesome. Thank you for being here.
A lot up there. I think we have to continue to think bigger, right? I think like part of it is almost the premise of the question that, it's the first question I get. You know, are you able to hire enough talent in North Dakota? Are you really able to scale? Every investor that I talked to that wasn't from North Dakota, and many even in North Dakota, that was the first thing that they asked me as well. And so I think we have to start just shaking that. Like, we have a lower population, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't prevent us from thinking bigger and having big ideas and being willing to take advantage of them. So I think it's just about starting that conversation earlier. You don't have to leave in order to do something great. So, you know, there's lots of, I mean, Real Truck's an amazing success story. There's many others in the state, and we need to tell those stories, and we need to build the narrative that you don't have to leave in order to do something important and big. And I think sometimes we let ourselves as a state sort of get beat up by that idea, right? Just that type of thinking.
All right, so we're getting towards the end. We're going to go, we got a question over here, and then Sam and Catherine, if you could come up on stage with me, that would be great. But let's get the question over here.
We have one up there too, Greg.
Oh, but we're going to go here. We're short on time, but you can tweet it into #1MCFAR, and they'll pull it there. Sam and Catherine, you got to come up here. All right, go for it. You got the mic.
Why did you decide to write Principles of Fortune?
You get bonus points for that. Awesome. Why'd you decide to do it, Scott?
To be helpful to people, I thought if I could somehow impact businesses in different places to be a little bit better businesses, that's a huge win.
Perfect.
Great question.
Scott, what can we do to help?
And Garrick, what? And what can we do to help both you?
Read the book and share what you learn about it.
Why don't you guys find someone in the audience who can read the book and just go give it to them?
Yeah, do you want to go give it away? You guys are going to give each book away, okay? Awesome. Thank you.
That's how you can help. Thanks, guys.
All right, so yep, let's see who they're going to play favorites. So today is 1 million cups statewide. We've had our friends in Grand Forks and Bismarck. They've been watching. Thanks for being with us. We've had our friends from Click Content Studio producing this live stream across the state. So if you have friends that need to hear this, but on behalf of all of us North Dakotans, big thanks to Scott and Garrett for your leadership, for giving first. I do want to do a heartfelt celebration of Scott. Today is Scott's 29th year in a row of being sober. And there's a lot of energy from our First Lady on addiction, recovery, mental health. And I know there's a lot of folks in this community that every day there can be that part of their journey that's hidden, that's a struggle. But we want to say thanks to you, Scott. I know you and several folks in the room are active in the AA community as mentors and volunteers. So on behalf of everybody you guys serve, thank you. As we wrap up today, we just want to say a couple quick things. We want to thank our team. We want to thank Roger, our mic runners, Colin and the leadership in Grand Forks, Janelle and her leadership in Bismarck for making this happen, Jim Manny from Click Content Studios for betting on us, doing 10 of these statewide. We want to thank our sponsors, all these folks, the folks at the EDC just had a welcome party last night, which was fantastic. FM Area Foundation, Midco, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Fargo Forum. We want to look ahead to next week. So next week there is no 1 million cups in Fargo. So please drive to Grand Forks, drive to Bismarck. We'd love for you all to go. So no 1 million cups here in Fargo. In 2 weeks in Fargo, we have Student Day. So we have 3 high school women. One is a national DECA champion. One won the YAY program for the chamber. And one won Startup Weekend. They are here to share their ideas. You are not going to want to miss it. Bring your students, bring your friends, bring your kids. No school in the summer, so bring them here. They can learn. And then also just wanted to share that on the Emerging Prairie team, we're kicking off TEDx Fargo promotion. So if you're in the hallway, grab a button, grab some information. Please help us tell that story. When we think about the work of the entrepreneurial ecosystem, we take a page out of both of these guys' books, and it's a give first mentality. We see that in Bismarck, we see that in Jamestown, we see that in Grand Forks. Please find a way to give first. Somebody gave all these kids ice cream, so that's fantastic. But each and every day, we have an opportunity to give first. And I truly believe we cannot outgive our communities. So let's keep giving. Let's support our entrepreneurs. And thank you to the third graders from Carl Ben. We're glad you're here. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.